Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I wanted to jump on tonight to talk about the lawsuit between Cardi B and the YouTuber Tasha K. She calls herself a YouTuber journalist, but we know her as a YouTuber. She's a very popular YouTuber. I've watched a lot of her content, so I'm very familiar with her. Many of you may also be familiar with Tasha K. But I wanted to come on just to talk about what's going on pertaining to that lawsuit. It seems like it's been going on for a while now. I remember hearing that, maybe back over the summer, Tasha K losing the case, having to pay out money to Cardi B. Then I remember Tasha K saying, well, hey, don't throw me to the wolves just yet. I got to go back to court come September. So I didn't really recall hearing anything, after September pertaining to their case. So fast forward till today. I've come to learn that a U.S. judge has ordered a release of Cardi B's medical records amid a bitter STD defamation lawsuit. So basically, judge is like, hey, to prove, sis, you don't have an STD, we need to see your medical records, and then we can kind of take it from there. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I found a couple of articles out here online just talking about it. Also came across an article where Cardi B has responded to this request, was this presumed or alleged request for her medical records. So we're going to get into it. So first, I want to go ahead and share my screen so we can just talk about I guess this lawsuit and what it's stating that the judge is ordering at this point for the case. So let me share my screen. Okay, here we go. So this is on independent.co.uk. This is the website where this information is coming from. I'll drop the links for everything that we review in a description so you can kind of refer back to it. But this article reads, U.S. judge orders release of Cardi B's medical records amid bitter STD defamation lawsuit. So it shows this article was posted 43 minutes ago. So this is kind of like some current information. So it reads, a U.S. judge has ordered the release of Cardi B's medical records in the STD libel and defamation lawsuit the rapper slapped against YouTuber Latasha Kibi. Cardi's lawyer Lisa Moore told Rolling Stone that her client welcomed U.S. District Judge William Ray's ruling delivered on Monday, November 23rd. Judge Ray ordered the University of California, Los Angeles Center for Women's Pelvic Health to send him all the medical reports that related solely to Cardi's testing for herpes and HPV. Wow. Who would have thought like all of this would have kind of come this far from Tasha putting out there that this woman had an STD? First of all, whether or not Cardi B had an STD or not, I do not feel like it was the place of somebody, in particular Tasha K, which we're talking about. I do not feel like it was her place to put that information out there to the world, especially without knowing for certain, meaning that you have receipts, where you've seen medical records, you have proof that this woman had told you she had, I just feel like it was just out of order altogether for Tasha to put that information out. I can't help but to wonder in hindsight, when she think about it, do she feel herself like, okay, she kind of, pushed the envelope when she did that? But let's continue. The WAP singer STD test results are an important piece of evidence in her underlying underlining libel and defamation lawsuit, which she filed in March 2019 against Kibi. At the time, Cardi accused Kibi of damaging her reputation by making false claims about the singer on her YouTube channel, Unwind with Tasha K. In her lawsuit, Cardi said Kibi wrongly alleged in multiple vlogs that garnered millions of views that the singer used to be a prostitute and a cocaine user, and that she had contracted herpes and HPV. Responding to Judge Williams' Monday ruling, Moore told the publication that Cardi does not have HPV and herpes. Two of the defamatory statements at issue are the vile, false, and highly offensive statements by the defendant that my client has herpes and HPV, and we provided these STD testing records 14 months ago in support of my client's claims, she said. However, Kibi reportedly challenged the medical records provided by Cardi earlier at the sealed hearing on November 9th, which the Judge Ray ordered the hospital to furnish the singer's medical records for court inspection as soon as possible. Goes on to say Kibi's lawyer, Sadir Sabak, told Rolling Stone on Wednesday, November 24th, that the YouTuber had no comment on Cardi's medical records specifically. The case is set to go for trial on January 5th next year in a federal Georgia court, during which Cardi's legal team will seek to prove the singer's accusation that Kibi was running a malicious campaign against her. Plaintiff was never a prostitute or a user of cocaine. Plaintiffs have never and does not now have herpes, nor has she had herpes outbreaks on her mouth, her lawyer stated. Kibi previously countersued Cardi for assault and intentional infliction of emotional distress, according to a copy of the lawsuit obtained by Rolling Stone. So here's my thing. The claims that Tasha came, in my opinion, that came about, that she, with this article said that, let's go back to it, because I feel like Tasha kind of brought this on herself, but it's almost like, okay, you throw rocks at somebody, they throw it back, and then you complaining on how hard they threw the rock back to you. I feel like Tasha, it's like a mute point with Tasha wanting to complain about how Cardi is reacted to her putting those claims out there to the world about her. I mean, Tasha had she has a large platform. Of course, at that time, it wasn't as large, but her putting out those claims about Cardi B definitely grew her platform. Tasha has a lot of videos about Cardi B. I remember during that time where just like nonstop, she was just doing commentary on Cardi B. It was evident. People knew she did not like the woman. So for Cardi to come out swinging and reacting, how to use the person who started it by putting out the claims out there want to complain about how the person reacts who you were speaking on. So that's the part that kind of had me kind of confused. So I'm kind of stuck on that one. Please chime in if you all have any any opinions on that one, or if I'm missing something, but I was kind of stuck on that one. So I'm going to share my screen again for the article about Cardi B reacting to, I guess, this alleged request of her medical records. So let's see what Cardi has to say. So this is on thirstfornews.com. It reads, Cardi B reacts to report of submitting herpes test for STD defamation lawsuit. So this article was dated November 24th, 2021. So that was yesterday. So it says Cardi B and vlogger Tasha K are in a messy court drama over defamation. The WAP rapper sued Tasha Kibi for $75,000 in 2019 for spreading rumors that she has herpes. A new development to that story broke today, and Cardi is not having it. While answering back to the report that she must submit an STD test in this lawsuit, Cardi B didn't seem happy. She wanted to make everything very clear, and she did so on Twitter. So it looks like this may be what she wrote on Twitter. It reads, this was This was turned to her lawyers. Okay. Okay, before I go on to read this, remember this Cardi B typing. So listen, y'all follow with me. Y'all might have to do a playback, but I'm gonna do the best I can with trying to read this statement sis wrote on Twitter. So y'all, this is Cardi B. This was turned to her lawyers 3 months ago. A pretrial conference was made 2 weeks ago, and this is one of the main evidence of my case for my own defense. I don't know what type of thirsty publications those lawyers are trying to get for putting a media blast on this. Cardi B also included a text graphic that read defamation lawsuit. Monday's order was sought by Kibi's attorneys, but an attorney for Cardi B told Billboard on Tuesday, November 23rd, that the same test had already been voluntarily disclosed earlier in the case and as evidence in favor of the rapper's accusations. Judge Ray directed the Center for the Women's Pelvic Health at UCLA on Monday to disclose any and all medical records within your possession related solely to the testing for herpes and HPV, human papillomavirus for Bacillus marlinus Almanzar, Cardi B's real name. So yeah, we're going to go with Cardi B on now. We will continue monitoring this ongoing story here at Thirsty. Odds are they are far from finished fighting in the courtroom, period. Okay. So this looks like a screenshot of Cardi's tweet that she wrote. So y'all can read that. Good luck. So Cardi's like, yo, I've already submitted all this information. What's going on? Why are we revisiting this? Like, I mean, I feel like Tasha, to me, given that it's dragging out the way it is, it's to me, it doesn't look good for Tasha. It looks as though she's not winning. So she's continuing to kind of put up that fight. So, okay, say if medical records, whatever was released before, they're questioning the validity of certain things or maybe certain information they felt like wasn't disclosed. So they're like, yo, nah, we want to go back at it and make another request because we look like we missing some pages. That's the vibe I'm getting. But, you know, I just feel like it's kind of Tasha trying to reach, you know, because I would imagine sis has, you know, spent a lot of money fighting this case. What they said, it's been going on since 2019. This is like pre-pandemic. So we had like 2 years going into year 3. So, I mean, I'm sure everybody's ready to put it to bed, but Tasha's trying to recoup. I feel like Tasha's trying to recoup some money and she's not up for going out taking a complete L. She's like, yo, I'm finna get a win somewhere. If y'all said I need to pay, you know, sis out any money, like I need some money paid out to me too, because I done paid out a lot of money and the Cardi gang or whatever, you know, Cardi B, you know, followed, I don't know what she called them. I don't know if they the Cardi gang, whatever, but like, she feel like, you know, Cardi, her people, they've come for her too. And she's experienced negative effects as a result of that. I've heard her talk about, you know, having to move. Like Tasha K is a local to where I live. We actually live not that far from one another in the same county within Georgia. So I know, you know, the area where Tasha K kind of lives, but she didn't always live there. She did live, you know, someplace else within the Metro Atlanta. So she did say her reason for having to move was, yes, due to people just, you know, I guess her address got leaked and people was just kind of harassing her. So she had to move. Like, I get all that. But my thing is, sis, you brought it on yourself. Like, I don't understand how you can bring the energy that you brought on to Cardi B and then be upset with the energy you're getting as a result of that, as though she didn't have followers too. Tasha She has the winos, she has her followers as well. But Cardi has her followers as well too, which I would imagine, which we know it goes without saying is going to be far more followers because she's a international superstar, whereas Tasha K is, she's known in the YouTube world, but she doesn't touch. I would say she's not in as many homes as Cardi B is, as far as on the on television, the internet, and things like that. Radio, like Cardi B is Cardi B, Tasha K is Tasha K. So I think the whole situation is just sad. I can only just hope that Tasha K has learned something from this situation. But heck, then it's like you wonder, like, well, if that's the case, why is her name caught up in the situation, dealing with the R. Kelly case? Because I did a video, I want to say I did a video over the summer about her being connected to the R. Kelly case. Apparently, I guess there was some information that a former employee, correctional officer, or somebody released to her that Tasha kind of put out there on her show, and now she was getting investigated for that. So that's an alleged situation, y'all, that's going on with Tasha K. So it's just like, well, damn, sis already got this stuff going on with Tasha K. Do we need a whole nother case? Is our money that long that we can just have our coin just tied up in the court system? Like, even if you do got the money, who choosing to sign up to have their money going to a lawyer? Because think about it, like with settlements, things like that. Look, lawyers make a good amount of money when they do win cases. So imagine the amount of money, like, say, the Tasha K lawyer, with the amount of money they're making, and they ain't even won anything yet. So at this point, it's just money kind of going out versus what is looking like so far with Cardi B. She's going to be able to recoup some money from, her lawsuit, because it looks like sis is winning, so it's just a whole mess. Tasha is Tasha, she's one of those people, you love her or you hate her. She moves very differently in these YouTube streets. And a lot of times many may think that it's reckless. Excuse me. I err on the side of feeling like it's more on the reckless side, just because it's so much to lose when you get to putting out information about people that you really don't have the receipt on. To me, a third party saying something, to me, that's not considered a receipt. To me, a receipt is going to be you seeing something documented, some legit legal paperwork, some documents that can hold up in court. A person being on camera saying something. Like, to me, that falls into, okay, what's considered a receipt. Whereas I noticed with Tasha, she releases a lot of information, and just because it came from like this third party, then is gold. Like, that's it. It's legit. And it doesn't necessarily work that way. And when you're playing with people's lives, and then Tasha's a whole mama, she's a wife and a mother, I believe, when all that was going off with her and Cardi B initially with that lawsuit, Tasha was probably like pregnant during that time. So, that's a lot of added stress that she really didn't have to bring on to herself. So I can imagine during that time, her body was under a lot of stress and things like that. But sis, you brought it on yourself. That's the part. Like, it wasn't like Cardi B. I mean, prior to Tasha K talking about Cardi B, the question is, do we believe that Cardi B even knew of Tasha K's existence? Now, we do see that, Cardi B gonna respond to any and everybody. I don't know anybody on the internet that respond, probably outside of Soulja Boy, that respond to so much to any and everybody. Like, that's the thing that I think is a downfall for Cardi B, is that her skin is very thin. She responds to any and everything. I think she's getting better, because I don't really hear much anymore, really too much, with her kind of being in her feelings about what somebody said about her. Not as much to me as before. I think probably Lizzo then took over that spot, because Lizzo be crying and whining about what somebody said to her, it seemed like every 13 days. But Cardi, I mean, I feel like it seems like, she's gotten better, but I just feel like everything don't warrant a response to, but I can understand Cardi B responding in a situation where somebody's putting her medical her medical history out there for question, especially if somebody trying to say you got STDs. I mean, that's not a good look. So I'm not mad at her for responding to that. But my thing is, I don't feel like Cardi B and Tasha K would have ever even had any words with one another if it wasn't for Tasha K putting out that negative information about her that had not been properly vetted. Because remember, if you guys did ever follow Tasha K, back then Tasha K had interviewed a woman who supposedly had been, I think, a roommate of Cardi B's in the past. I don't know if her name was Star or something like that. But I remember back during that time, because I would follow Tasha pretty heavily back at that time. But once after that whole Jaguar situation with Tasha K kind of went down, I don't know, I kind of fell off a little bit with Tasha K. So I'm not, I don't consistently watch, I hardly ever really watch her content like that. But Tasha just moves to me in a reckless manner. And like I said, given that she has so much to lose, not even so much money, but she got a whole family, she got kids, and she needs the money to support her family. And I just think that she should put more thought into things before she start getting out there and doing the things that she do, because it just, a couple of times it's come back to bite her in the butt, and the consequence is heavy. It's her pockets are being hit. And I believe that when the bigger you become, when people do come at you, the harder they're going to try to come at you, because they know, okay, your money is long, so you got more to lose. And you just got to move smarter out here in these streets. And I don't see how Tasha has kind of changed, with how she moved as she's kind of climbed the financial ladder. Hopefully, she'll get better in that area. But like I said, when I heard about the story pertaining to R. Kelly, then I'm like, okay, are we not out here learning any lessons? I haven't heard any updates or anything pertaining to that, but I hadn't seen nothing out there where it said that her name was cleared either, when it came to that R. Kelly situation. When I initially heard about it, it was like her name had come up. So like I said, I have a video out there if you want to check out that video where I talked about all of that. I just hope that this whole situation can just be put to bed, because it just seems like it's just been going on forever. I know Tasha's K's son, like he's like what, 2 now, like or something like that. Like it just seems like it's just been carrying on forever. And I think we're all kind of ready for it to kind of be put to the end. And I'm sure no one's more ready than these 2 ladies, but it's just a mess. So now that we're seeing that Cardi's medical information is now being brought back up to question, it's like, does that mean that it's a chance that this information can somehow make it to the public? Like, how does that work when you're dealing with a court case, a lawsuit? Will this information, I mean, I know you got HIPAA laws and things like that. I don't know. It just makes me think that it can make for it to be easier for certain private information or personal information to be released, to be released out there and floating around. Like, I'm curious to know, I guess, according to Cardi, she's like, yo, what she say, like 3 months ago, we provided this. What she said, this was turned into her lawyers 3 months ago. So I'm curious to know, okay, what was it on that information or those documents that didn't suffice for Tasha K and her team, her legal team, to be requesting information again? I haven't seen anything where Tasha K has spoken on anything. Like I said, I don't really follow her like that anymore. If anyone who's on this catches this live or playback has some information, drop it in the chat or in the comments. Let me know. But it's a mess. I can't imagine, going through courts and then happen to present my personal medical information. And then I'm this celebrity. And then, like I said, you run the chances of this information leaking out. And then various blogs getting their hands on the information. Like it's just too close for comfort for me. But I'm sure there's a reason, as they say, a method behind the madness. So there is a reason why Tasha K's legal team is requesting this information. So it looks like Cardi gonna have to, judge like, sis, you're gonna have to come through with that information. Again, I guess you're saying you provided it. Well, okay, well, we asking for it again. So what did it show? January is when they go back. Is it the 5th? Trying to see. Maybe it was in that other article I had up where it was showing I think it's probably in the other article I had up where the new court date. Yeah, the next trial is on January 5th. January 5th is their of next year. So the case is set to go to trial. So there's going to be a trial, which means, okay, so here's my thing. If it's going to be a trial, does that mean there's going to be a jury? How does that work? Because I believe you can have a jury trial, and then there's this thing where you can choose to have the judge decide. So I don't know with this situation, what that's going to look like, for her. But I'm sure, it's a big story. It's going to listen. I guess that's how we finna be rolling into the new year for 2022. The Tasha K and Latasha Kibi trial. That's going to be the trial to get the year started. But hopefully, the trial won't be lengthy. It'll be something quick that it can, a verdict can come in, and then the two ladies, deal with whatever the fallout is, and then everybody go on living their lives, and hopefully, be many lessons learned from this. And, and as far as with herpes, from my understanding, that's something you can't really get rid of. That's kind of, you either have it or you don't. So, if Cardi B does have it or had any outbreaks, like, yes, that's going to be in her medical records, and it should, still, I guess, show in her system. So, if that was false, which Cardi B said it is a false claim, on her, that's just very disheartening, because it's just not something I wouldn't want somebody to put out there on me. So it's definitely not something I would put out there on somebody else. And Tasha, sis, listen, we have got to do better. We got to do better. But, the things, people will do to, get some clicks, to make $1, but what they say, you got to take the good with the bad with the good. So Tasha K, maybe killing it with, her success with her YouTube channel, but this is right on the heels of it. So this is something she also has to deal with it. So, but looks like, she is dealing with it, but from what I've been able to see, it has come with some stress. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you catch this playback, leave a comment. Do you feel like Tasha K brought any of this on herself? Do you feel like, okay, Cardi, you've been too sensitive, it wasn't that serious? How do you feel the trial is going to end up? You feel like it's going to be kind of like something quick, something long? Will this be televised? I think everybody's kind of going to be kind of sitting, waiting to see how everything turns out for Tasha K. And, how much of a loss, she may possibly take, if she does lose the case. But most importantly, I just hope that there is just many lessons just learned with this for Tasha K and anybody else who just choose to talk about somebody. I know just for me, at the time when Tasha K was talking about Cardi a lot, I wasn't on YouTube. So I started this channel like maybe at the top of 2020. So it's been, I guess it'd be 2 years come January. So it was kind of after the fact, but I am very conscious on as far as what I say, and I make it a habit, any sites that I check out to get information from, I always kind of drop the link in the description comments so you can kind of go back and refer to it, because I don't just be up here just saying anything, making up anything. Like it's just, I just understand that it's dangerous to do that and play that game with people, with their lives, and then you can get in trouble. And I definitely don't have it like that for somebody to come after me for just for defamation. I don't. So it's just about moving responsibly, and that's just what I just try to do just in general. And I think too, it all comes down to a character type thing. What kind of character? Because my thing is, the character you have in your real life, to me, that carries over to your work. So if you move with character just in your own personal life, just in your day-to-day life, when it comes to your work, you're going to have, you're going to have integrity. You're going to treat people certain, like all of that is going to show. So I feel like how I move on YouTube, it's an example of how I move in the regular streets. YouTube streets, regular streets, it's the same thing. I'm just careful with what I say about people, and I make sure I back it up. I'm just not out here just saying anything or whatever. And if I do hear of somebody saying something about somebody, I'm definitely going to throw out that word allegedly. I think that's when people really started using that word allegedly, like following that case with Tasha K and Cardi B. So I think many people, just onlookers, have learned, if nothing else, the importance of using the word allegedly, because you don't want somebody, coming after you for defamation. So protect yourself and protect your brand. And I think, Tasha K, when it came to Cardi B, she didn't do a good job at that. So again, thank you for anyone who did catch this live. Please leave a comment, subscribe, share the video, hit the notification bell so you know when I do come on live. And yeah, typically I'll come on here a lot of times, talk about things going on in these YouTube streets, celebrity news, just hot topics, relationships, things, just whatever that seems to be kind of trending. I tend to try to jump on and just share my thoughts on it. So if you do have any ideas or anything you'd like to hear me discuss, to talk about, drop it in the comments. I'm a growing YouTuber, so I am growing. Thank you for all my subscribers, my new subscribers. So we're growing. I want to continue to keep growing, building on the platform, but I want this to be a safe space where people can come and just share their thoughts and opinions. I like to look at comments, so please drop a comment. And again, happy Thanksgiving to you all, and I will catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.